everyone. Welcome to a new series I want to try called 5 Ways I'd Fix It. Interestingly, that'll be F-Wi-Fi? F-Wi-Fi? Fwiffy? Any way you spell it, say it, pronounce it. It's not that much shorter than saying 5 ways I'd fix it, but put it however you want. General idea here is I want to take something that was a little bit disappointing, figure out a way that we can make some simple changes to fix it. The idea starting out is to do TV seasons, but this could apply to video games, movies, music albums, random phone, flashlight, any piece of tech. Can do whatever the hell we want. Anything you want fixed, let me know in the comments. I'll give it a shot, consider it. We'll think about it. But for now, let's keep it simple. What I want to do is look at Season 2 of House of the Dragon. I think the general consensus on that one was just disappointment, letdown. Basically, it was a trailer for Season 3. It had its moments, it had potential, but it was mostly just building anticipation, only to have no release, no delivery. Couple moments here and there, but overall, big dud. So what we're going to do is try in 5 steps to not change the overall idea of the show, not mess with the plot. I'm not saying let's kill off this guy, let's save this guy, burn that, F him, screw her, none of that. Well, maybe a little bit of that. But the main thing we're going to do is just make little tweaks to how it was presented to figure out a way that we can make this thing work, get it up a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better. I'm thinking about trying this with Season 8 of Game of Thrones at some point, but I don't know if I have the heart for that yet. Let's try to walk before we run, or at least crawl before we run, because that thing is a mess, and 5 steps might not be enough, but damn it, I want to try. But for now, House of the Dragon. Let's get right into it. Step number 1, enough fucking Harrenhal. I love Matt Smith, I love Damon, one of the highlights of the show, and they just destroyed him this season by sidelining him and giving him nothing to do. The Harrenhal idea could be cool, haunted house, creepy visions, lots of cool stuff you could do, but the way it was executed was terrible. You just had every episode. First time it was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's having some visions, yeah, he's going to learn about himself, he's going to realize he's being selfish, it's not about him being king, blah, 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 blah. And then the next episode, okay, that was pretty similar vision, pretty similar. Oh, okay, next step, okay, similar, yeah, we've been here, yep. And it just got to the point where as soon as it cut to Harrenhal, you were disappointed. And that's such a flip from Season 1. Season 1, every time Matt Smith is on the screen, you're lighting up, he's making snarky comments, you're excited. This season, he was so looped up on crazy Wood Witch tea, or whatever the hell she was giving him, that he wasn't even being that snarky. Even with the Wood Witch, you would think at least they should have had Damon be a little crazy with her. Maybe he feels threatened, comes at her. She has to kind of fight back. He ends up giving in. But it was really more just like, oh, hey, you're giving me some nighttime visions and I'm waking up in the middle of dinner. I guess that's cool. Why not? Let's roll with it. I'm easy. Which he is anything but, so that made no sense. I think an easy way you could have made that transition is he comes into Harrenhal, he's seeing weird things, hearing stuff in the wind, having a couple of visions, and suddenly he goes to her and says like, hey, what is going on with all this? I can't sleep. What the hell? She gives him some tea, says, hey, I'll help you sleep. Take this. It's fine. No drugs, whatever. And then you have a nice inn where it makes sense. But the big overall fix here for this step 1 is condense Harrenhal, maybe not even in terms of total content, but make it 1 episode. Now, I know the big problem we're going to see here is Matt Smith is one of your go-tos. You can't sideline him for an entire season, and I get that. But a little tweaking and manipulation, you can make this work and stretch it to where that can work. You go, instead of episode 2, him flying off to Harrenhal, you go stretch it into episode 3. By the end of episode 3, Rhaenyra is questioning his loyalty. Right at the start of episode 4, you see him flying off. Then there's some mystery and ambiguity throughout episode 4. Oh, what's going on? Where is Daemon? What's he doing? Episode 5, pure standalone episode, nothing but Harrenhal. You see the moment he arrives to the moment he has the vision, and you see a lot of weird shit in between. I'm saying you up the weird, you up the horror. I want more creepy creatures in the background. I want 1 or 2 good jump scares, nothing too over the top. I want some good visions, some crazy stuff happening. I think there was a lot there that worked. Paddy Considine coming back as Viserys really had some emotional weight. I think you could see from Daemon's perspective the emotional weight. You actually saw a lot of the guilt, a lot of the realization that his selfishness destroyed his brother. And seeing he had a lot of ideas of how we might have done things differently. So all of that worked and presented the right way throughout one episode, I think it could have been amazing. So you have a creepy haunted house vibe. Maybe you have some more stuff going on in the wind where before you actually see any visions, Damon starts hearing Viserys saying, "Did you say it?" or whatever it was, where he was asking him about the air for a day comment. So maybe he even just hears air for a day in the wind. Maybe he hears something from Rhaenyra kind of questioning him. But both of them, not in the exact voice of the people. Maybe you have the actors say it, tweak it a little, make it really cool like that. I think that vibe could have been awesome. I, like Will Ferrell, don't know what to do with my hands, but get over it. I'm not a professional here, just having some fun. And anyway, so Harrenhal, one episode. Matt Smith would really kill it. He had that episode in season 1 where he didn't even talk, and it was almost centered entirely around him, and it was amazing. So imagine him playing this freaked out character in a haunted castle, things on the wind, creepy creatures in the background, Wood Witch messing with his head, all the while trying to raise an army. And by the time he gets to that vision, that felt a little off to me too. That felt a little bit like the Flash movie with the stuff at the end. It was just a cheap, like, throw in this thing they know, throw in that thing they know. It didn't really cut together well. It just felt like show Game of Thrones clips, they'll get it. I think you could do a much cooler vision. I think maybe even having some stuff with his ex-wife that he didn't murder would have been cool. And with the whole theme of trying to warn him about what's ahead with the White Walkers, you could have even had something where you see her as sort of a White Walker zombie kind of thing, really freak him out, really emasculate him, since that was something she clearly was good at in that episode where you saw her for 5 seconds. So I think bring that back would be amazing. Overall, Harrenhal, one episode. Then you're going into the last 3 episodes of the season. You can have a little bit where you see him raising the army, and then you can have it where I think what you do is you show the vision, you show him seeing, oh shit, there's some serious stuff coming, but then you don't have it be hand-fed with the witch being like, see, this isn't your story, it's not about you, meta, 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 it's you are supposed to help along the rest. You don't say any of that, you just show the vision. You have Daemon clearly have this realization of who sits on the throne is more important now than ever, but you don't say if he thinks it's him or Rhaenyra, and then you show his new army in the next episode begin marching to go meet her at Dragonstone. Episode 7, he shows up. Is he there to help? Is he there to attack? You don't know. And then you go from there. So that's fix number 1. That's probably the longest fix, the one I'm the most passionate about, so we're going to breeze through a couple more here. To really offset the length of fix 1, fix number 2, tone it down on the murdering the kid stuff. I'm not saying you can't kill the kid. It's important to the plot. We said we're not going to mess with the plot too much here, so you have to kill the kid. I get it. But you could have shown the mother kind of running off with the other kid and not even heard anything in the background. Instead, they kind of focused on her, but you just heard sound effect after sound effect of chopping a head off, and just absolutely brutal. Maybe I'm a little extra sensitive to it since I recently had my second kid. But just tone that down a little. Not necessary. There's enough gratuitous violence. You don't need that. Now, number 3, kind of the opposite of that in different aspects. You need a show, don't tell. And now I know it kind of goes back and forth on that and how it should be, but here we need show, don't tell, because they did so many things where they just cut off opportunities for good content. I'm assuming it's Zaslav and a bunch of budget BS, but they really just neutered the show. There were so many times like Aemon getting pissed and roasting a whole town where they just went, well, we could show some cool action here, or we just show him kind of flying away and there's some sparks in the background, and you get it? So, I mean, there were so many episodes that just felt like letdowns of nothing happening, and you could have shown some stuff. So just do that. A little more action, a little less telling. Don't just telegraph it with words. Telegraph it with action, visuals, sound, things. Don't bore us to death, please. You have money. This is a big fantasy epic. Spending insane amounts of money on it is what you do. You want to put Batgirl on the shelf, I get it, whatever, save your tax money, be a dick, do what you gotta do. But with these shows, put the money down or don't do it at all, okay? Now, number 4, don't sideline your best actors. I'm going to say his name wrong probably, but Rhys Ifans, amazing as Otto Hightower, one of the highlights of the whole show. And this whole season, they had a couple great moments early on, they sent him off, and the rest of the season, for episode after episode, there was little teases. Oh, are you going to see him? You're going to see him? Oh, is he coming back? And then at one point it was like, call for my grandfather to return to King's Landing. And he never came. And then right at the end, we see just a little tease of him. You don't even hear him. He doesn't get to do any acting. He's just in a jail cell. What the hell? Now this one, I haven't read the books. I don't know what the plot's going to be, so I can't suggest a lot of changes, but find a way to bring him back sooner, even if it means giving away a little bit of who the hell has him in a jail cell. Probably Laris, who the hell knows. But maybe just show some of that this season. Have him there, or just bring him back and screw that part, change it from the book. I don't know. But you can't keep him out of more than half the season. It's insane. You gotta have him. Bring back Otto. That fixes it pretty easy. And finally, number 5, I think the Dragon Pit thing was one of the most fun parts of the season. A little over the top, a little crazy, but a lot of fun to watch. But what really took it down a notch was there were no stakes. You saw the 2 characters that were going to be the Dragon Riders from that selection there, episode after episode. You saw little clips of them. Oh, he's at the bar. He's got a sick daughter. We're seeing them. We're seeing them. We're seeing them. And it's Chekhov's gun. You're not going to see these low-level people in King's Landing episode after episode unless something big is coming. So you knew they were both going to get the dragon. You knew every other single bastard in that whole pit was going to die, or at least maybe a couple survived with Hugh throwing the one lady out of the way. But you knew they were getting the dragons, a bunch of other people were going to die, and that's that. So the stakes weren't there. The action was great. Seeing that dragon walking up and the size of it was super intimidating, super cool. So a lot of good stuff there, but there were no stakes. Fix for that is imagine if they had highlighted 4 or 5 different bastards throughout the season. Now you're seeing those 2, you're seeing 2 other people. You might develop some favorites. You might say, oh, I really hope this person survives. So then you're kind of ranking them. You could go into that episode going, oh, you got these 4. Let's take bets on who's going to make it. And you're going to be watching every little time the dragon comes right by one of them. You're going to think, this is it? This isn't it? If it's the person you wanted to survive and they die, you're going to go, oh my God. If it's not and they survive, you're going to be thrilled they end up on the dragon. So just highlight more of the people, put some stakes into it, and you're going to have a much better turnout. So that's the way we fix Season 2 House of the Dragon. Condense Harrenhal. Don't kill the baby so graphically. Just off screen. Do all the other stuff you're doing off screen, on screen. Otto, don't sideline him the whole year. And more bastards, simply put. More bastards. That's going to do it for this. I think we fixed it. Unfortunately, we can't go back and actually fix it, but hey, it's an exercise in futility, and that's what we're here for. Let me know in the comments what you think of those suggestions. Let me know what you'd like to see me fix next, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.